You will serve as Hand of the King in my stead.
Why me?
You're my son.
What if Tyrion was born tall? Let's explore the possibilities that might have been. In the annals of Westeros, small twists of fate can shift the course of kingdoms. Today, we turn our gaze toward a single moment in Casterly Rock, where the birth of Tyrion Lannister was destined to alter history. But in this reimagining, he is not the dwarf we know. He is tall and robust, a Lannister lion cub with both cunning and formidable presence. What if Tyrion were born tall? Cut to a shadowed corridor in Casterly Rock. A newborn's cries echo off the stone walls. Thunder shakes the fortress, lightning flickering in a swirl of heavy rain. Servants exchange nervous glances. Everybody knows Lady Joanna Lannister's health has taken a dire turn during childbirth.
A boy, my lord. Strong lungs. A tall frame. He's grown more than I've ever seen in a newborn.
And Joanna?
The Maester hesitates, sorrow shining in his eyes.
She's not survived, my lord.
A flicker of anguish crosses Tywin's face, soon replaced by steely resolve. He casts a cursory glance at the newborn, who squirms in the nurse's arms. The child is unusually large for a babe, stretching limbs as if testing the world. Tywin's expression for a moment betrays bitterness. Then the thunder booms, the scene darkens. A storm rages outside. Inside, a father's grief wars with dawning realization. For if Tyrion is no twisted dwarf, but a tall, vigorous son, what new roads open before House Lannister? Let us explore that question. Lightning flashes, ending our hook with the swirl of possibility. In the early years after Tyrion's birth, Tywin Lannister's resentment lingers. Joanna's life was the price. But the boy's rapid growth and potential cannot be ignored. In time, fatherly bitterness turns grudgingly into pride. We see the corridors of Casterly Rock years later, a boy of about 12. Tyrion stands almost as tall as other adolescents nearly grown to manhood. He's in the training yard, sweating in well-fitted leather armor, practicing sword swings against a straw dummy.
Steady your footing, Tyrion. Wider stance.
I find it helps to keep light on my toes, Uncle, especially if I want to outmaneuver a bigger opponent.
Nearby, Tywin Lannister watches with guarded approval. Jaime, not much older than Tyrion, exchanges a laugh with his brother. At the far side, Cersei stands, arms clasped, her gaze a mixture of disdain and wariness. Over a private supper in the Solar, Tywin sits with Tyrion while Jaime and Cersei dine further along. Servants pass plates of roast and bright vegetables. The atmosphere is cordial, but carries an undercurrent of tension, as though any misstep might awaken Tywin's wrath.
You handle a blade competently. Keep training. Mind your reading, too. A Lannister must be as sharp in letters as in steel.
Yes, Father. I've been devouring the histories of the Field of Fire and the Rhoynar Wars. Strategy intrigues me even more than swordplay.
Tywin's mouth twitches, almost a smile.
Good. Never neglect your wits. Remember, there's more power in cunning than in the swing of a sword.
Cersei picks at her food, eyes flicking between Tyrion's broad shoulders and Tywin's half-approving nods.
He grows daily, overshadowing us. Do you not see the threat? The prophecy?
Jaime shrugs dismissively.
You fret too much, dear sister. Tyrion is still our brother.
Cersei's lips tighten, her mind clearly grinding on old superstitions. Maggie the Frog's prophecy about the Valonqar. She glances away, carefully hiding the tension as an attendant pours arbor wine. A cold wind rattles the windows, belying an uncertain future. As Tyrion matures, his commanding stature and keen mind confer new opportunities. Tywin, seeing potential in this tall son, arranges a marriage to further Lannister power, one that might weave the Riverlands and the West in a potent alliance. The chosen bride, Lisa Tully. In the main hall of Casterly Rock, richly draped in crimson and gold banners, Lord Hoster Tully arrives with Lysa Tully at his side. She glances around with a mix of wonder and anxiety, noting the opulence of the Lannister seat. Tyrion stands at the dais, wearing polished attire that accentuates his height and broad shoulders. Lysa, primly dressed in Tully blues, flushes under his direct gaze.
Lord Tywin, it pleases me to present my daughter, Lysa. We are grateful for the prospect of union with House Lannister.
Tywin's expression remains stoic, but his voice is measured.
The match will benefit both our houses, Lord Hoster. I trust Tyrion will make a suitable husband.
Tyrion steps forward, offering Lysa a polite bow.
Lady Lysa, welcome to Casterly Rock.
She smiles stiffly, uncertain how to respond to this imposing figure who, by rumor, is both cunning and unexpectedly kind at times. Meanwhile, Petyr Baelish, who accompanied the Tully party, watches from the corner with narrowed eyes.
So the lion claims the trout. Let us see how that shapes the currents of power.
A swirl of wedding festivities consumes the Red Keep, where the wedding is hosted for royal recognition, or alternately occurs in Casterly Rock, depending on political convenience. Either way, the ceremony proves grand. The bards sing praises to House Tully and House Lannister.
I take thee, Tyrion Lannister, as my wedded husband.
I vow to protect you, to honor you, and to uphold the alliance between our houses.
The crowd applauds. Jaime smirks at his tall brother tying the knot. Cersei sips wine with a glacial smile, quietly suspicious.
So the bastard lion weds a Tully. Another rung on the ladder for him.
Time passes swiftly. Lysa settles into Casterly Rock's rhythms, tentatively accepting her role. Word soon spreads that Lysa carries Tyrion's child. The entire realm murmurs about a future Lannister heir not from Jaime or Cersei, but from Tyrion, the new prospective Lord of Casterly Rock. With Jaime in the Kingsguard and Cersei forging alliances at King's Landing, Tyrion stands as Tywin's recognized heir. The birth of a robust baby, named Tyger Lannister, cements the bond between the Riverlands and the West. Yet not all hearts rejoice. We see glimpses. Lysa pens letters to her sister Catelyn Stark, revealing mixed feelings about her life in the West. Petyr Baelish reads these letters from a distance, frustration tightening his lips.
The Vale is no longer the immediate prize. I must plot anew.
With Tyrion forging alliances through marriage and fatherhood, King's Landing hums with talk of a reinvigorated House Lannister. But trouble stirs in the north when Bran Stark is found injured at Winterfell under suspicious circumstances. Old loyalties strain under new circumstances. Bran Stark's mysterious fall from a tower in Winterfell triggers widespread concern. The rumor that Lannisters might be involved, Jaime or Cersei perhaps, flits through the realm. However, Ned Stark hesitates to blame an in-law so hastily. After all, Tyrion is now brother-in-law to Lysa Tully.
I cannot condemn House Lannister without proof. Tyrion is joined to your sister Lysa. Our families share a bond now. We must proceed with caution.
Catelyn, torn between outrage and reason, nods slowly.
I'll write to Lysa. If the Lannisters truly have no blame, they will not object to an inquiry.
Ned is summoned to serve as Hand of the King after Jon Arryn's death. Tensions brew. Tywin dispatches Tyrion to King's Landing to keep watch over the family's interests, especially since rumors swirl about potential wrongdoing by Jaime or Cersei. In the capital, Tyrion, tall and confident, immediately draws attention. Courtiers whisper about the giant lion, who stands nearly eye to eye with the mountain that rides. Even Robert Baratheon, loud and boisterous, raises a brow at Tyrion's imposing presence.
Gods be good, Lannister. You're as tall as a high tower. No wonder Tywin's so smug these days.
I aim to be a different sort of Lannister, Your Grace, both in height and humor.
Nearby, Cersei bristles, aware that her younger brother's rising popularity might overshadow her own standing. Jaime, though outwardly genial, privately wrestles with the secret of Bran's accident. Alone in her solar, Cersei confronts Tyrion one evening.
You always watch me, brother. Why? Do you suspect me of something?
You seem anxious. The king's hunts, the realm's finances all weigh upon your mind. Why so jumpy?
A flash of anger crosses her face, but she masks it behind a tight smile.
It's the burden of being queen. Men like you, however tall, can't grasp it.
Tyrion detects the edge in her tone. He wonders if the rumors regarding Bran are true, if Jaime and Cersei hide a dreadful deed. The seeds of doubt sprout, intensifying the already precarious ties within House Lannister. Despite the uneasy peace, events escalate. Old King Robert's thirst for wine and hunts leads him unwittingly to his downfall. When he is mortally wounded, the Seven Kingdoms teeter on the brink of war, and Tyrion's position becomes pivotal. A swirl of scenes. Robert returning from a boar hunt, mortally wounded by a beast's tusk. Some whisper too much wine was poured. Sir Barristan Selmy and Renly Baratheon help carry the king to his bed. Ned stands grimly by, trying to follow Robert's final commands for a regency that secures the realm. But Cersei tears apart the king's will, while Joffrey, all smug youthfulness, proclaims himself rightful heir.
Your Grace, Robert named me protector of the realm until you come of age.
I am king now, Stark. I need no protector.
Tyrion watches from a corner, eyes flicking between Ned, Joffrey, and Cersei.
The succession is never so simple. This is about to turn bloody.
Cersei orders the Gold Cloaks to detain Ned Stark when he tries to reveal the truth about Joffrey's parentage. Ned is seized. Renly flees the city in alarm. Littlefinger betrays Ned, orchestrating confusion. The stage is set for civil war. Tyrion, wrestling with loyalty, attempts to intervene.
Sister, hold. We can solve this without bloodshed. Let Ned speak.
You have no authority here, Tyrion. Jaime and I protect the throne. If you value father's favor, you'll stand aside.
As the capital plunges into chaos, news of Ned's capture spreads. Lords across Westeros mobilize. Robb Stark raises the banners of the North. House Tully stands ready. House Lannister braces for war, but Tyrion, powerful in presence and mind, stands in a unique position. He could either reinforce his siblings' control or broker a more measured resolution. Tywin Lannister, from Casterly Rock, dispatches orders.
My children squabble over trifles. Tyrion must bring order. If King's Landing descends into anarchy, we lose everything. He must hold the city or secure alliances to keep the Iron Throne under Lannister influence.
Jaime, still in the city, leads the Kingsguard. Tension with Ned's incarceration grows. The Riverlands stir because Lysa Tully, now a Lannister, urges caution, not an outright assault on King's Landing. She confides in Tyrion.
If war comes, the Riverlands will burn. My family is torn. Catelyn stands with Ned's cause. I stand with you, and Lord Hoster is old and ill. Tyrion, we must find peace.
At night, Jaime seeks out Tyrion in an empty corridor, raw emotion shining in his eyes.
Brother, I can trust you, can't I? About Bran Stark. It was an accident. Cersei and I...
He hesitates, a flicker of guilt crossing his face. Tyrion's jaw tightens, realization dawning that the rumors might be true. Jaime and Cersei, entangled in incest, were behind Bran's fall. Disgust and sorrow mingle on Tyrion's face.
Jaime, do you understand the chaos this has unleashed? You risked a child's life.
He saw something he shouldn't have, Tyrion. What would you have done?
Tyrion rubs a hand across his brow, burdened.
I don't know, but we must handle this carefully. The North will not forgive such an outrage easily.
Word arrives that Joffrey, ignoring counsel from both Cersei and Tyrion, wants Ned Stark's head to prove his authority. Sansa's pleas fall on deaf ears. In a tense courtyard scene, Joffrey sits on the Iron Throne, demanding Ned's public confession. Ned, battered and disheartened, confesses for the sake of Sansa and Arya's safety. Then Joffrey stuns everyone.
Bring me his head!
Shouts rise in horror. Tyrion steps forward, tall and imposing, attempting to intervene physically.
Your Grace, a life spared is a future bargained. If you do this, you seal the North's hatred forever.
Cersei tries to restrain Joffrey. The Kingsguard, led by a conflicted Jaime, hesitates, torn between the new king's orders and the savage consequences. But in a swirl of swords, Sir Ilyn Payne executes Ned. Blood stains the dais. Sansa faints, Arya vanishes into the crowd's confusion. Tyrion stands in shock.
You fool, Joffrey. You kill one of the greatest lords in Westeros, father of your betrothed, in broad daylight. Do you see what you've done?
Joffrey sneers, immature cruelty shining in his eyes. War is no longer a question, but an inevitable storm. Ned Stark's death ignites the realm. Robb Stark is declared king in the north, forging alliances with House Tully, House Maester and others. War engulfs the Riverlands, the Westerlands and beyond. Yet Tyrion, newly outraged by his nephew's cruelty, faces a choice that may alter Westeros's fate. We see soldiers flooding the roads. Hostile forces burn fields near the Trident. Tywin calls his bannermen, while Robb marches south. Renly Baratheon, proclaiming his own claim to the Iron Throne, rallies the Reach. Stannis Baratheon readies ships at Dragonstone. All corners mobilize for conflict. Tyrion stands on a battlement in King's Landing, gazing out at the city.
A tall frame didn't spare us from ruin. If anything, it gave me more responsibility and more heartbreak.
Jaime approaches, armor clinking. He's riddled with guilt over Ned's death, though he didn't strike the blow.
I couldn't stop it. Cersei wouldn't dare cross Joffrey's order. The boy's madness is unstoppable.
We must find a path forward before the entire realm bleeds. Father expects me to secure alliances, but with Ned gone, the North will wage a vicious war.
Lysa Tully, now Lady Lannister, receives pleas from her sister, Catelyn. The letter begs for help avenging Ned, protecting the North from Lannister aggression. Torn between loyalty to House Tully and House Lannister, Lysa sobs quietly in her chambers while her infant coos in a cradle.
I don't want war. My sister's heartbreak is real, but I am sworn to my husband. Tygor is heir to Casterly Rock. Must we fight each other?
Peter Baelish lurks in the background of the capital, sowing seeds of cunning. He sees opportunity in the fractures. Perhaps he can ascend to power by navigating these new fault lines. But for now, he bides his time. News arrives that Robb Stark has scored an early victory against a Lannister raiding party. Tywin, besieged, demands Tyrion ride out to join the Western host. Yet Tyrion hesitates. He stands in the Great Hall of the Red Keep, glancing at the Iron Throne with undisguised contempt for Joffrey's cruelty.
This is madness. We'll tear Westeros apart. If only someone would dethrone that wretched boy.
A passing thought flickers across Tyrion's mind, possibly forging a truce with the North if Joffrey is removed, or dethroning Joffrey by backing Tommen or Myrcella. Even so, family loyalty tugs at him. He is, after all, a Lannister. Westeros trembles upon the precipice of a war more ferocious than any in living memory. Tyrion Lannister, tall, commanding and cunning, stands at the crossroads of duty and conscience. His choices now will decide if House Lannister mends the fractures or deepens them. Outside the Red Keep, the common folk gather anxiously, hearing rumors of Robb Stark's approach. Storm clouds gather overhead, reminiscent of the night Tyrion was born. Jaime readies the city's defenses, while Cersei lurks behind the throne, spurring Joffrey's paranoia. Tyrion kneels beside a map table in the war room, conferring with half the small council.
If we muster the gold cloaks and lock the gates, We can hold the city for a time, but that won't end the war. We need a diplomatic edge.
He pauses as Jaime bursts in.
Robb's outriders are rumored to have reached the outskirts of Harrenhal. Father is forced south. We're cut off from full reinforcements.
Tyrion slams a fist on the table, frustration etched across his features. The bickering lords hush, sensing his authority. He stares at them with a lion's ferocity.
Then we deal with the north directly. This realm has bled enough.
Some tension abates as Tyrion dispatches riders offering terms to Robb Stark. Maybe a potential prisoner exchange or recognition of northern autonomy if Robb yields. Yet the question remains, will Joffrey, thirsting for power, sabotage these negotiations?
You dare undermine the king's authority? Our father would never allow you to cede ground to the Starks.
Our father expects me to save House Lannister from total ruin. This is how...
The siblings lock eyes. Both realize the outcome may define the future of Westeros. Tension thrums in the air as the capital waits for the North's response. Does the realm break under civil war, or can Tyrion's looming presence hold it together? Finally, we see Robb Stark reading Tyrion's letter by candlelight, jaw set but eyes conflicted. Lysa Tully in a high window at Casterly Rock, holding her infant son, praying for peace. Peter Baelish smiling darkly, forging new schemes. Jaime Lannister pacing near the Iron Throne, reflecting on the sins he carries. Cersei leaning against a balcony, nails biting into the railing, suspicion twisting her features. Tyrion stands in the courtyard beneath the same ominous sky under which he was born. Ghostly thunder rumbles. He lifts his gaze as if to challenge the heavens themselves.
I may be tall, but I've never felt so burdened by what I must do next.
And so our tale ends here, on the verge of open conflict. Tyrion the Tall, shaped by a twist of fate, stands at the heart of alliances and betrayals that will reshape the Seven Kingdoms. Will he broker an unlikely peace or plunge Westeros further into war? That answer lies beyond the horizon. Thank you for joining us on this journey through an alternate Westeros, where Tyrion's path stands transformed by a single change, his towering frame. If you enjoyed this scenario and wish to explore the continuing battles and negotiations in a part 2, please like and subscribe. Until then, stay vigilant, for winter is always coming.